started. All right, everybody, welcome. You are here today for three secrets to getting unstuck in your 2026 job search. It is Friday, December 5th, 2026, 2025. My name is Albert. I'm the founder of Albert's List, and we are here to talk to you. Before we get started, please use the webinar chat to conversate with one another, share your LinkedIn profile, and go ahead and network with one another. This is a live webinar. This is not pre-recorded. I am not an AI. I'm not really sure, I guess, how I could prove that to you all, but we can figure this out along the way. Um, this webinar is also being recorded, so please use the Q&A function. And also, we will be following up with this with a recording after the fact, and so hopefully it'll be a chance for you to see. Um, yeah. So this is where we're gonna get started today. So before we get started, I want you to get in the mindset of today's webinar. This is going to be a little bit different than what we usually do. If you have an open door, close those distractions, exit out of your social media apps, close the door to your room, or plug in your headphones. That way you get the most out of our time together. If you're wondering if you're in the right place, you're in a, job search webinar on a random Friday morning, 3 weeks before Christmas. You are in the right place, in fact, if you're struggling to find your next job, feeling stuck in your career, not sure what you want to do in the job market, or are looking for a solution to your struggles. If any of those describe you and your current situation, please type yes in the webinar chat so that we can get an idea of how many of these peers that you have are feeling this way. And if it's not you, let us know what you're looking for anyway, or why you decided to end up in this particular Zoom room today. What we're doing today is we're gonna tell you about three secrets to getting unstuck in your job search. I think that, in 2025 and in these recent years, it's been a tough time just thinking through what this job search looks like. It's a lot of headwinds that we're seeing from the industries that are being affected by everything from tariffs to just AI and so forth. And today we're going to give you not just the three secrets, but also going to tell you how you can get more. And so stay with me to the end. We're going to have an opportunity for you, and even more so because you're on this particular webinar today. We also want to give you a special holiday gift. And so we're going to hopefully have that for you today. A little bit about me. My name is Albert. I'm the founder of Albert's List. I'm also a product marketer, and many look to me for job search insights, strategies, and connections to thought leaders. When I'm not writing, I'm collecting vintage paper like newspapers, maps, and travel brochures, or I'm on my Peloton bike pranking out the miles. In addition to that, I've been running the Alberts List for the last 12 years. And what we are is we are a job search, side hustle, and AI skills organization, helping you become the most resilient individual possible. And like I've been through the Silicon Valley career grinder. And, I put that trademark symbol there just to kind of be a little bit cheeky because I feel like if you work in technology, which maybe many of you do, you've been through the crazy meat grinder of the Silicon Valley experience because it is literally just that crazy. And before I founded Albert's List, there was literally just me. I was a new graduate. I graduated during the Great Recession of 2010, 2008 to 2010. And, it feels a lot like now. A lot of people, nobody ever taught me how to job search, much less manage a career. I was definitely entitled and young and solely looking out for money and myself, and the results really showed. I was fired from the first few jobs I held out of school and wondered if I could do better for myself. And, unfortunately, as a young person, I also felt pretty powerless, clueless, and losing at the game of life. I was seeing other people who felt like they had a cheat code or some kind of special ability that I lacked. And they were getting jobs at prominent companies. They were doing well. They were going on nice vacations, and I was wondering what the heck was going on. Does anybody else maybe feel that way right now, even in these times? Yeah, Panache says that experience tracks. I also happen to work in a career that's completely different from my family. Like a lot of us, we tend to follow in our family's footsteps. My mother and my father were both software engineers, and I ended up going down the marketing route. At the time, I really loved social media, connecting with others, and writing, but the layoffs, they were taking their toll. Being who I was, I definitely ended up questioning my skills and my self-worth and began questioning my value. The bills also never stopped arriving in the mailbox, or really just the costs just piled up, and there was this feeling of uncertainty, similar, similar to what we kind of see today with everything. Uncertainty turned into a constant sense of anxiety and dread. I didn't know if, I would have, issues landing that next opportunity. And so I was also constantly on that job hunt. And, that's something that I feel like a lot of people probably going through today, especially in this tech world, because you get into the tech industry in 2021 when the market is good, and all of a sudden the bottom's fallen out just a couple years later, with everybody saying that it's due to pandemic overhiring and all that stuff. And so, if any of you can relate to that, hit the heart button. I want this to be not just a day where we learn about these three secrets, but also where we feel empathy for each other. I got unstuck along the way, though. I eventually figured some things out as I built Albert's List, found myself helping others, getting out of contract and layoff hell, and ended up working a fairly stable job for a couple of years in Southern California. And because my job was remote, I was able to come back to the Bay Area and give talks. And usually that meant long drives up the California coast, bus rides, times to think about topics like interviewing or networking, because I guess I'm just a job search geek like that. And what I experienced in my Facebook group is that there were people who came into my group, people who came to webinars such as this, found jobs and left. And then there were people who have come to my webinars and my events for years, and they'd still be there 6 months later, years later, asking the same questions and wondering about the same things from the same day they came. And, over time, I really just saw that and realized that, it was time to take this community to the next level. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we're in the business of helping job seekers learn AI, learn side hustles, and job search skills. And each of these, we believe, play a crucial part in your career today, and we aim to provide accessible, engaging opportunities for you to grow your career in ways that are meaningful and helpful. And we're doing that right now, right? So there are quite a few people here in this Zoom room right now, in this Zoom webinar. And so if you haven't had a chance to connect with others from the webinar, drop your LinkedIn profile. Let us know where you're calling in from and what you're looking for. We always want to make sure that you have that opportunity here to help each other. And if you're also looking for our Facebook group, this is our Facebook group as well. So feel free to click on that, join. We're at 50,700 members. And that's what we're talking about at our next slide. We've been around since 2013. We're heading into our 13th year next year, and we've helped over 50,700 people just like you land opportunities, understand the job market a lot better, network with many people, and get insights into where the future is headed. And they work at many major companies as well. These are just some of the logos of companies of people where they are in our community. We have people who I know work at eBay, Google, IBM, AWS. We even had connections into OpenAI within our community, NVIDIA, Lyft, some of the more world's most foremost brands that you might have come to understand and discover here in Silicon Valley and beyond. Um, and so, going back into really this job market and the really sad doldrums of it, the good news is that it has been worse along the way. The unemployment rate, right, it has ticked up. I think it's 4.4% in the United States right now. It could be a lot different if you're somewhere else around the world. And the good news, though, is that it has been worse, right? It's hard to look at all of this and say, well, has it been worse? It has. The Great Recession was pretty terrible, and the dot-com bust was pretty terrible too. But today, I want to show how you can navigate the current employment landscape. And navigating a job search, even in a good market, is tough, right? I think one of these things is it's not just the things you need to do, but it's also navigating your own personal trials, your own imposter syndrome. There's fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear that you won't land, fear being your greatest enemy. I don't know how many of you have looked down into the abyss of thinking that you'll never ever find another job. And, hit thumbs up if you have, because I have. And it's a pretty scary situation because you look down that abyss and you're like, wow, that's pretty deep. And it's pretty horrible. Um, and so if you have a process though, it is a lot more manageable to go through. Michael, yes, there will be a recording of this webinar later. I'll just go ahead and reiterate that. We have a YouTube channel. It'll be there. We'll follow up over email and we'll get to know all of you over the next couple of weeks. This is also being live recorded, and we also have questions and answers. But you know what? With regards to all of the fears of rejection and everything, you also realize that you need a paycheck, right? You got bills coming in, you need a solution, and that's why you're here to learn about this process that we have to offer you today. And the problem is, as you go through your job search, something you are doing is not working. You're not getting the results you want. You're not getting the job you want, the salary you want. And I want to show you what I want to show you is how you can get out of that and make it work. And so ultimately, you want a job and the right job. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. And before I get into that, I also want to make the point that you don't want to be isolated. Being isolated in the job search is so easy to do because you're at home, you may not be going out because it's expensive. It's like $30 to even just leave your house. And what you got to do is you have to stay connected. You have to prevent yourself from being isolated. And so if you're on this webinar today, you're already halfway there because you are connected to many people today here in this webinar room. And staying connected helps you be more consistent. It gets the support you need and it allows you to succeed. So, hang out in this webinar chat, uh, get that LinkedIn profile powered up, connect with everyone, join our Facebook group, and I'm going to go ahead and share that link in here again. And I'm also going to share my own LinkedIn page so that you can all connect with me and we can all talk further. And so the other thing about staying connected is also networking. More than 90% of jobs today are filled via networking and internal referral. And Albert's List can connect you to many different hiring opportunities, and more so importantly, meeting people, right? There could be recruiters on this chat today. There could be hiring managers, and there could just be people who are looking to meet other people, and they might be connected to other people as well, right? So if we have 100 people in this room today, and all of those 100 people knew another 10 people, right? That gets really to a really big network effect. So I want you to understand that opportunity is in this Zoom room right now. But, really to get to the end of it all and to not just get connected, but to also get through that job, you need the right tools. And part of that tool is having the right resume, the right fundamentals, and all the things that you need to be successful. And with that, right, even thinking about what this community is, you are only one moment from that change. That one moment could be that resume tweak. It could be that networking event. It could be the connection that you make today in this Zoom chat. And I want to just really highlight that because I've actually found the last couple of jobs that I've had on my Facebook group, including the one that I'm in now. And so if you think about that, right? Your life could literally change in the next few weeks because you met somebody in a Zoom chat room. And this is sort of how we approach it. This is what we've created here at Albert's List. This is called the hiring hierarchy. The hiring hierarchy is what we describe as a framework to truly help you understand everything that is required in the job search process. The foundational process is actually not even so much about your job search, but is more so about the attitude, the resilience, and the commitments, and really the personality that you have going into a job search. Attitude is everything, right? As we've heard in our shoe commercials. And it applies to the job search as well, because you need to be mentally ready and emotionally ready to go for that job search. Then in the second row, we go into the things that make up your job search, your resume and your cover letter, your personal branding, the networking you're doing, the job searching, the skills and the interviewing. Those are all things that once you have a really great attitude, you're going to do really well at, because you can see yourself in that new role, you're envisioning it, and you're telling the stories that need to be heard. Then going into the third level, are the visions, the dynamics, the metrics. This is where you get into being somebody who can lead, somebody who has credibility within the organization, and somebody who can truly think through what it means to be in that role, but not only be in that role, but also grow along the way. And so being able to grow along the way just means that you can look at a job and you can see how you're going to grow within that job. And then finally, at the end, it's leadership. So, how do you build your credibility within the organization? How do you make sense of everything? And how are you somebody that people look to for guidance no matter where you are in your career? And so, with all that, I want to get into three secrets to getting unstuck into your job search. And so what we're going to talk about here are, yeah, just how you get unstuck. And so the first secret that we have is the Magnificent Seven. And no, the Magnificent Seven is not the Magnificent Seven stocks that you see in the S&P 500, but rather the Magnificent Seven tasks that you must do when you learn that you need a new job, right? Some of you may have gotten laid off before. Some of you may have gotten fired, or maybe you're out of school today and you really just don't know what the next steps are. And so when it comes to what you need to do next, there are seven things that I've discovered that when you are out of your job that you really have to do. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste these into the chat after I read them out. Number one is updating your resume. Number two is updating your LinkedIn. Number three is identifying the jobs that you want to apply for. Number four is reaching out to your warm network to let them know that you are job hunting. Number five is posting an introduction on Albert's List. Number six is starting subscriptions like LinkedIn Premium. And then number seven is to identify networking events to attend in the next few weeks. And so here's what some of those are. Um, yeah. And so if you think about it, right, like let's do a little bit of an exercise really quickly. Let us know what kind of jobs that you're trying to apply for right now so that we can have an idea of what it is that you're doing. And we believe that doing these seven tasks as really just a first starter on the very first day of your job search sets you on a course to help you succeed when you take early and right massive action. And you can use AI to help you along the way for this too, right? Uploading your resume or your LinkedIn profile PDF to a ChatGPT or a Grok or a Gemini can be tremendously beneficial in helping identify the value propositions that you have for any job that you're about to get. And when you take this type of massive action and you get out of your head and you get out of what may be stopping you, you will get results. Patrick asks, does it matter if I don't have a LinkedIn picture on your profile? It does matter that you have a LinkedIn profile picture because it helps make you searchable and it helps you be a little bit more personable too. And so if you are out of a job right now, it does help to stay as connected to what it is that your identity is as possible. And so, what I want you to do is, what we do here at Albert's List is we want you to meet some of our members and what they've done when it comes to job searching. Cindy was one such person who found herself isolated during her job search and spinning her wheels. Like many of you, perhaps, she spent a lot of time thinking about the job search rather than executing, and it cost her a lot of opportunities, including her dream job. She was primarily concerned with perfection. And I want to highlight why taking time is bad. To really like take a lot of time thinking instead of acting, right? Write in the chat if you have the thought. Like, what problems do you think taking too much time in planning out your job search creates? Let me know. Lost job opportunities? Yep. What else? Missed deadlines, yep, right? If you don't go fast enough, you're gonna end up falling behind. Long-term gaps, yep. So after working with our team, Cindy understood the need to introduce speed into her job search, whether it was using her network to figure out quickly what she needed to be successful or just to really execute. And she was able to find a job within a few weeks of completing our program, and she really enjoyed our process. The second secret to getting unstuck in your job search is to define your destinations. And so, one thing that we think about here is when it comes to doing anything, there's always a journey, right? Have you ever wanted to learn a new skill? Have you ever wanted to get fit for a wedding or an important event? Have you ever wanted to save up money to go on a big trip? Then, you know along the way, it takes dedication, time, and precision to get there. After you spent that time in the classroom or in the gym, you can see the results, whether it's your ability to think deeper, whether it's physical, and you have abs and you have arm muscles, or whether it was, that new knowledge that you could apply at work. And so, oddly enough, right, job searching is the very same thing. We don't often hear of it that way because we apply for jobs in this tailor-made manner. We interview like every conversation is new or network like we are socializing for the first time. But if you know your destination ahead of time, you're building the assets and the personal brand towards getting there, and you know what you want, then those who are speaking to you or helping you can be in a stronger position to do so. And so you get there by having a story that you want to tell to those who can decide about you, right? It's not about what you know or who you know, but who knows you. It's like walking into a store, right? You might be going to the grocery store, you might be going out to eat tonight. It's Friday, Saturday, depending on where you are in this world. And if you walk into the store, you walk into the restaurant and you don't know what you want or you don't know what you're craving, and you look at the menu and the waiter or person comes over to try and help you at the grocery store, they have no idea what to do. It's really difficult for them to do so. But if you have an idea, then they can guide you to the right aisle. They can make you the best food possible. And, even if you don't know the middle steps along the way, like the events to go to, the resources, etc., um, you can at least figure out how to work backwards in that type of situation. And for me, it's always thinking about working backwards. That's one of the biggest and most powerful things in the world. Because if you know what your end goal is going to be, then what you're doing at the very front end is always going to be very, very helpful. And so with that, I want you to meet Juan, who's another one of our members. He also came to us several years ago and expressed a lack of direction. And what we do is we helped him find direction, and he landed at Microsoft. Um, and I want to know, like, as we think through this, how many of you are not clear about your job search destination? Do you know what you want? Are you able to clearly articulate if I were to ask you right now what you wanted for your next job? And if you are very sure, type in the chat what kind of job you're looking for. And if you're not sure, type no. I just want to get a good idea of who's in our audience today. No. Okay. HR business partner. Wonderful. All right. Strategic development, innovation strategy, nonprofit, ed tech. And by the way, this is a great way to understand who our audience is and who you're networking with. So, day trading, front end developer, fintech, advocate, continuous improvement manager, right? So, we have a lot of people with a lot of awesome skill sets here. And so, what I want you to do is I want you to also focus on abundance in your job search. In today's market where it's super, super tough, one thing that I have continuously encouraged for job seekers to do is to create an A through L or a 1 through 10 list for all the jobs that you're capable of doing, right? So if you're a marketing person, you can be a product marketer, a content marketer, customer success. If you're in HR, you could be an HR business partner, um, a recruiter, a benefits coordinator, all of those things. And so the exercise that I want you to do right now on your computer, maybe you're on your phone, open a WordPad app or so forth. Um, and type out what it is that you are able to do and share with me how you feel as you do that. So I'm going to actually type that myself here because I have a list of jobs that I personally do, right? So product marketing, content marketing, customer success, HR, recruiting, and then working for myself. Yeah, so tennis professional, pickleball, racket sports, business entrepreneur, ADA or AI, data science, software engineer, or engineering manager. Right. So in this exercise where you have written out all the different roles that you're capable of doing, what are some of the feelings that you get as you write down this list of jobs that you qualify for? And we'll take a couple moments to get some answers from the audience here. Business development, ops, sales, partnerships, project management. So you're writing down a list of jobs that you are capable of doing based on your experience. And one thing that, if you agree or not, tell me if you agree, is that you feel a sense of abundance. You feel a sense of options, right? And options and opportunity is what I'm all about because I believe that the more options and opportunities you create for yourself, the more you don't feel like you're boxed into your job search. Patrick agrees. Yeah. And when you are in that mindset, then your job search is a lot easier. Parsa agrees as well. Scott agrees too. Yeah. And so wherever you are in that job search, if it might have been a struggle leading up today, if you feel like it is getting rougher and tougher, I want you to really just come back to this exercise and do it again and again so you feel better about yourself. And right, as we said, the fundamentals of the hiring hierarchy are your attitude and your emotions. And the better that you can understand that, then, and the better that you can master those, then the rest of your job search goes easier. Okay. So that leads us to our third secret, which is to connect your past, your present, and the future. And so the question I have for a lot of you is, are you good at job interviewing? Yes or no? And the answer that we get from a lot of folks is that most aren't because they're there for themselves in hopes that somebody might not notice. They're not great at telling their story and connecting past to present. And in reality, companies interview candidates because they're hoping that past success is an indicator of more future success. And while your stockbroker never promises you future success based on what happened in the past, your future employer is banking on the possibility. And so, how do you interview well? You connect your past, present, and future by understanding the questions that you'll be asked from the job description uh, as it aligns to your resume and their needs. And so, what you want to do is you want to go into a place like ChatGPT and you want to be able to uh, upload your resume and answer your resume in a sense that you are able to go ahead and answer those questions that matter, right? You want to be able to create a table and a chart based upon your resume, and you want to be able to write a interview process that helps make sense for you. Sorry, my PowerPoint disconnected here real quick. Let me go ahead and get back into this. There we go. Okay. All right. And so as you go through the interview process and as you go through what it is that you're experiencing within that interview, what you want to do is really be able to tell that story clearly, right? And so the secret is simple. What I'm going to go ahead and do is copy and paste some of the instructions that I do when it comes to the interview process. And it really comes down to this. You upload your resume and your LinkedIn profile and a job description into ChatGPT. You ask it to act as if it were your career consultant, and you tell it to give you a four-column table. One table is focused on anticipated question, One is the category of question, like star, hypothetical, fact-based, or skill-based. And one are stories that you can draw from your resume, and one is the answer that you can practice. And if you want even more validation, you go ahead and you ask ChatGPT or your chosen AI to tell you why that's a good answer. And I always feel like in that type of situation, it puts you in a better spot because you're able to really justify how you feel about what you feel about. All right. So with that said, we also want to talk to you about Nikki. Nikki came to us when her past, present, and future were not really all that well connected. We helped her connect that by giving her interview skills in her job interviews that resulted in multiple six-figure offers. And, because she was in that early tech phase, she returned later on and did our boot camp again when she was looking for her next job, aiming to further level up her skills. And so now we're not just teaching her to get more six-figure job offers, we're also teaching her to job hunt with the power of AI. And so, we're about at this part where I want to ask you, right? Do you remember when we told you at the beginning that there would be more? This is where we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And so this is where we're going to share this next upcoming opportunity. And so we used to have an 8-week course, but we've also updated it because we realize that many of you need to get back to your job search and job search faster. And so what we're introducing is Hired, the 6-week roadmap to your next job in 2026. And what we want to do here is I want to share with you what we're going to teach throughout this boot camp. This boot camp is our course, our flagship course here at Albert's List, where we help you land your next job. And so as we do it, here's how we do it, right? Um, the first week is the hiring process. We want to really walk you through and talk you through how the modern hiring process works, finding riches in the niches, and expecting the unexpected. Um, this is also where we give you the hiring hierarchy overview and really tell you what you need to get your job search right from the fundamentals. And so this is really your foundational. And so I'm your first instructor here. I've spent the last 13 years now helping job seekers like yourself figure out job search strategies, perfect interviews, and create a process that leads to offers. Week two, we talk about resumes and cover letters because those are still incredibly important in a time where even if you're able to network, you still have to be able to show people what it is that you've done. We're going to focus on telling a story that speaks to your strengths, create a cover letter that highlights you and gets you out of your own way so you can showcase who you truly are. The benefit is that you learn how to control the narrative, tell them why you're the best candidate instead of having them having to pull it out of you. Our instructor here is Jonayed. He's a LinkedIn resume and personal branding expert, and he's helped everyone from C-suite executives to high school kids, techies, and clowns get their next job. And so you have a resume or personal branding question, I assure you, and I almost can guarantee you that he has the answer. Week three, we talk about LinkedIn and networking. And so we want to talk about uh, how to use the world's largest professional social network for professionals where you can meet decision makers, hiring managers, and other professionals. We're going to talk about why you need to fill out your LinkedIn profile and really just use it to your advantage while using AI to write messages that help you meet people and truly network in circles of influencers. And this is led by Elisa, who's an Alberts List moderator and career expert. She works in sales by day at one of the top Fortune 500 companies and knows how to write compelling messages that get read and lead to conversations. Week four, we're going to talk to you about turbocharging your job search resources. So, right, one of the aspects of the job search that is so tough these days is not being sure how you're going to go and land that next job. And so we're going to talk about building your job search roadmap and what to use and find ways for you to reduce your isolation and job search with others. And then we're going to talk to you about how to think about that current job market. And leading that is Lucy. Lucy is a talent acquisition consultant and career coach who works at Betts Recruiting, LAH. has worked at Betts Recruiting, LHH, Illumio, Bill.com, and many other places. She can get you insights into the job market. She knows what hiring managers are looking for and really how to have the right conversations along the way. In week 5, we're going to teach you how to be the interviewee that your interviewer is looking for, right? A lot of us go into interviews, we think about what's in it for me. And what we want to do is we want to get you that edge in the competitive market, help you understand why a particular job is open, what's at stake, and how you can leverage your background to be the top candidate. And our instructor is Corey. And right, he's a technical recruiter at the world's largest search engine. And if you don't know who that is or what company that is, I invite you to Google it. He's also a career coach, an Albert's List principal mock interviewer, and the founder of careershakers.com. And he usually gives private sessions at a really high price, and he comes to us at a much lower one. Week 6, we're going to cut through the noise. Because you need to understand the stakes and how the job market has evolved. It's important to understand who you're going to be interviewing with and talking to, from customers to colleagues, bosses, and really understanding how the whole entire interview process works. But not just that, but understanding why the job is open in the first place and really seeing whether it's a good place to work, right? So, um, we're going to teach you how to think about and envision yourself in the job. We're going to think about how you negotiate. And we're going to teach you how to skate towards where the puck is going and not where the puck currently is. Our instructor for this week is Joe Cardillo. He's founder of The Early Manager, a coach for executive and individual contributors. He's held managerial roles at hot startups and established corporations, and he's also a coach. And not only that, we also offer a bonus week 7 where we go more into all of these pieces so that you can truly feel solidified as you enter the job search. And so, what are we offering along the way? In addition to group coaching, which is job searching with others, as Panache asked, we're also offering a lot more support. So in addition to that, we also offer a free bonus, which include weekly office hours to run through scenarios, answer questions, or just vent. So you may not know whether, an interview question assesses risk, but we will go ahead and answer that question on Zoom. We can go through your resume. We can talk through anything that you need. And our instructors come on for the hour to talk about that. And so that's an opportunity for you to meet with your peers in a non-academic setting and really just talk through things. And this office hours go through the entirety of the boot camp and sometimes go after the boot camp ends. We also offer you a second free bonus where you have a mock interview with one of our instructors or with me, or you do a mock interview within our Facebook group on a Zoom webinar just such as this. And the value of that is $100. And so if you think about it, right, all of these together add up to about $3,800. But that is nowhere near what the course is going to cost because I realized that, there's a lot of different services out there. Some programs charge 10% of your first year's salary. Other job search groups, they meet monthly, slowing down your momentum. And if you look around on LinkedIn, there are career coaches who charge up to $5,000, some up to $10,000, and they make a lot of really, really big promises. And so because I've done this for a long time and I've been in your shoes, I didn't want to really start this program to totally maximize profit. What I really truly wanted to do was I wanted to help you out. And so our boot camp is regularly $397, but because it's also the holiday season, I want to do something special for everyone. When you enroll today, tonight, wherever you may be around the world, I'm going to give you last year's price and I'm going to give you actually an extra discount on top of that. So it's not 397, it's not 299 that we had it last time. What I'm going to give it to you at today is I'm going to give it to you for $249 for the first 10 signups, right? And so that is going to be through a code here where I'm going to go ahead and share that. And so let me go ahead and pull that link up. And so what do you get for that, right? It's $249 for the first 10 participants who sign up, but then overall, it doesn't rise that much. And we're limiting this boot camp to the first 30 participants. And, if you're listening to me for the very first time, if you've heard from me before, one thing that I also want to do for this is I want to add even more benefit to you, is that I want you to complete this boot camp and I want you to join us for these 6 weeks. And with this, I want to throw you a guarantee that if you complete the course and you use the skills for up to 12 months, if you're unsatisfied, if you come to other webinars and you feel like we're not giving you what you want, contact me and I will go ahead and give you your money back as well. Let me know if that's fair. All right, we're all really quiet. I love it. Okay, so if you're wondering how to enroll, this is the QR code here. I've also dropped the QR code or the link to the discount for those who are in this webinar today into the webinar chat. So if you're looking for a way to really get into your job search for the year, if you're really looking for a way to get ahead of it, right, and use the holidays to think through what it is that you want, or work with us or watch our webinars and so forth, this is your opportunity to do so. And so, with you, right, career success awaits. And if you don't work with us, what are you going to do, right? You're going to be in a situation where your job search gets harder in 2026 because of more layoffs and so forth. Um, and we want you to really, truly be successful as you go along the way. And with that, I want to be open to questions. I really want to answer anything and everything that you guys are thinking about in terms of what you need. Please let me know. And we are here to serve you as we go through this bootcamp process. The 6 week program. Yeah. So the 6 week program starts February 2nd, 2026, and it runs through the preceding 6 weeks from that. So it's going to be February 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and then I would say March 2nd and the 9th with a 16th bonus date. And it starts at 5 p.m. every single night, Pacific Standard Time. So, but if you go ahead and you join and you aren't able to join, you can also sign up for the recordings as well. Um, if you would like us to help you do job matching and finding, we can do that for you. What percentage of the people in the boot camp find work? I would say over 50% of the folks in the boot camp find work after the initial 6 weeks. And we also have people who have found jobs within the first like 4 weeks or so. Yes, we do have 50-plus-year-olds join our boot camp. We had somebody in their 60s who joined last year, and they were in the newspaper industry, and so we helped them transition, and they found a new job. Do you help us prepare for interviews in a role play or developing potential interview questions? Yes, we do. So we not only use ChatGPT for that, but we also have our instructors who are career coaches themselves and recruiters create those potential interview questions. Yes, these are all virtual. You do not have to be in the San Francisco Bay Area. You just need to be online at 5 o'clock Pacific time, wherever you may be. And the recordings are all made available. And also, in addition to that, we also have a group LinkedIn chat that will be always on and will stay on even after the boot camp is over. So it's once a week, Monday for 90 minutes, and then it's here's the link to 249 here. Cool. Um, yeah, and then we also have office hours that are Wednesdays, usually at 3 p.m. Pacific, and then we also host We also host regular webinars in between that you can come to. And then you also get a lifetime discount to all the other paid events that we do. Michael, is your program for only looking for a job search or about entrepreneurs starting a business or startups? So this is only for job search. We do have upcoming programs on starting a business if that's what you're interested in. And I'm happy to share some of those links as well. If you're looking to start an eBay side hustle, for example, you can learn about that in this upcoming webinar. And if you're looking to build AI skills, you can also do it here as well. Okay, let me make sure that we get this correct here. Webinar 2026 should bump it down to, yeah. So, Lindsay, click on this link. This brings it down to 249. Is it possible to purchase a pre-recorded boot camp that I can purchase to move at my own pace, since I would like a job prior to February 2nd? Um, you know what, Lana? I'm going to go ahead and put that together just for you. And so get in touch with me and uh, we can go ahead and get that set up for you. Well, the only reason why I want to do that, Lana, is because that's going to be a question that I eventually get, and so yeah, I think it's worth doing. So I will put that together for you. Richard asks, are certifications such as the PMP worth the time and cost? I think the PMP is worth the time and cost only because it is a very it's a very credible certification. It's one that's recognized by tech companies and companies all over the world, and it requires a lot of hours to take. So I do believe that the PMP is worth investing into. Okay, all right. Darren, Lana, and Fatima. All right, I will create a on-demand version for you. Thoughts on AI boot camps? AI boot camps, I think, are fantastic so long as you are um, AI boot camps are fantastic so long as you are learning the very, very super, super specifics. Um, so that's going to depend on what you want to learn AI for. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good, Anessa. Okay. All right. A lot of you want the on-demand version. All right. Sounds like you're going to keep me busy. I love it. Yeah, and so the on-demand version, really, I want to just, stress, right? Like, there are custom questions asked in those situations, and the job market continues to evolve, right? And so the reason why we also do this live is because what we've learned along the way is that when you have people who are working along with you live, there's also that similar motivation that folks are interested in. And so when you're able to get into those office hours together, um, you can really feel that collaborativeness. So I'll get an on-demand version together for all of you. And more importantly, I think along the way, if you sign up for that on-demand version, I will let you into these office hours as well. All right. Any other questions? Um, Yeah, the on-demand version, yeah, it would be a separate purchase because it's a digital edition. Um, you would be able to start that whenever I make it live. Um, but like, really for today's intents and purposes, I want to get you all into the live version because sometimes having that live help is a lot better. Right? Like Joe Nyad works with you live on your resume within that. Um, I work with you live in thinking through the interview process. So does Corey. So yeah. Yeah, totally understand, Lana. Totally understand. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Chris, regarding AI boot camps, has anyone used Kickstart interview for the 8-week boot camp? They charge 10K and somewhat guarantee you. Yeah, so the thing about all these things that guarantee you is that uh what I want to guarantee you today. So here's the link again for those wondering. What I want to guarantee for you to what I want to say in terms of guarantees is that I guarantee that you're going to pick up a lot of skills and meet a lot of really good people that are going to help you along the way in your job search. Um, I I'm there for you to help you find that job, but I'm not going to be an interview kickstart that says you will for sure land a job after 8 weeks because your effort is yours and yours alone. Now, it would definitely thrill me to help you find that job within that time frame, but I need you if I'm gonna charge you 10 grand, then I'm definitely gonna be like by your side, I think, every minute of the way. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that, Anessa. And I don't believe in charging exorbitant like fees like that just to, get in with people. I want folks to be successful, in their own realm, in their own way. Do you assist with get? Yeah, we do. Yeah. Yes, we do, Janice. Do you assist with us getting our resume through the applicant tracking system since so many companies use them? Do you assist with resume formatting for digital success? Yes, Joe Nayad will help you with that. Yes. Do you offer special price packages? So, Patrick, if you need a little bit of help along the way, send me an email and we will figure something out. And let's just go ahead and copy and paste this again. Yeah, so Michelle, I do believe that the SHRM and the PHR are all very well regarded certifications. So I do agree that much like the PMP, investing your time in those is going to help out a lot as well. So yes, I encourage it. All right. Cool. We've had a couple of signups already. We look forward to seeing you in there. Um, but in addition, anyone else with any questions? There are still many of you on the line here, and I want to make sure that all of your questions are answered. And we will be also doing these webinars in the beginning of the year as well. So it's a chance for many more of you to get those questions answered and also come back and meet more people if you're looking to meet more people. This is not my final webinar of the year. We actually have three webinars next week, although most of those are focused on the state of the job search, reselling on eBay, and building an AI native career. What's one thing we should be doing right now to prep for the new year to get that job? I think if you don't know what it is that you want to do, then you need to figure out what it is that you want to do so that you can be very clear about it. Um, yeah. Michael says, I live in Monterey County. Do I have to move or commute 2 hours to the Bay Area to find a job? Uh, that depends on the job that you're looking to do. I have no idea of your professional background, and so it's very difficult to answer that question. Darren, I have been out of the job market for several decades, working for myself. Is this boot camp for people who are current in the job market? Am I better off with the individual webinars you offer versus a boot camp? This boot camp is for people who want to be current in the job market and understand how the new trends of this job world are really changing and evolving. And so the individual webinars will give you something, but they're not going to give you the depth, breadth, and accountability and the community that you're going to get along with it because the webinars are very one to many. And this is where we want to work with you specifically on where you are in your career. Yeah. Um, Online or remote jobs? Well, I mean, if you have an online or a remote job, then you shouldn't have to move, right? Because it's remote. All right. Any other questions? All right. Sounds good, Anessa. And here's my email if you have any questions. We want to help you, as many of you as possible, and really help you be successful in the next year. Regarding the ATS, there are now tons of resume writers who are offering their services. I offered someone to rewrite my resume, and after using that resume for 4 to 5 months, I only got one interview. Through this time, there have been other resume writers offering the same service. I gave a second resume writer my resume to review. After reviewing my resume, the second resume writer said that I have a less than 10% chance of bypassing the ATS system. So do I know what's really working? I don't want to hire another writer for the same results. Um, oh, thank you, Lana. I really appreciate that. Um, so, it's every single resume writer is going to give you a different answer. When it comes to writing a resume, and Chris, I'm gonna actually give you all another free gift right now. Only because this kind of necessitates it. So if you've stayed all the way out here to the very end, I'm giving you the resume that's gotten me 35 offers that's very ATS friendly. The way I format it and the way that I've typed it out is actually very good for getting me replies. So Chris, instead of editing your resume, if that's the case, download my resume template and give it a whirl and let me know what kind of results you get. Um, yeah. Let's see. You don't need to hire anyone for CV. AI does a great job with the right prompts. Yeah, that can work. Yep. Can you help me find online or remote jobs through your bootcamp, or are online remote jobs less available? So, the economic truth of this, Michael, is that these remote jobs have definitely gone down in total volume over the last couple of years. And so you're not going to find those as easily. But what kind of online or remote job are you looking for? Is it anything, or are you a software engineer? Are you a marketer? Um, I think it really depends right now. And I mean, yeah, a lot of the jobs that I do see right now in the Bay Area um, tend to be hybrid, or at least in office most of the time. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Is your bootcamp sector focused? No, it is not sector focused. We bring in people who have experience with all sectors and can look through all different types and ways. So, right, Joe Nyad is a guy who has done resumes for everybody from C-suites to clowns to students and everything in between across all different industries. Lana, if you want to let me know what industry you're in, maybe we can help you further. Biotech. Okay, yeah, we've had biotech folks come through our boot camp before. Yeah. And and there are folks that I know in the Bay Area who work in biotech and clean tech and have connections into that industry, and I will be happy to make those introductions for you. All right. Anyone else? Any other questions? I'm going to go ahead and copy this bootcamp link again here. Um, I want to help out as many of you as possible. Thank you, Scott. Looking forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Cool. Thank you, Richard. Oh, well, I appreciate that, Lana. I appreciate that. I try to serve as much as I can and come from the heart here more than anything else. Is this course also good for internet? Yes, it is good. Yeah, so we've had people from New Zealand and Australia in our past boot camps. We also had somebody from Great Britain in a previous boot camp. So we have served international audiences before. Thank you, Patrick. And Patrick, please email me. Let's get you let's figure out something for you. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, RP. Okay, all right. Any other final questions? Thank you, Michael. I'm going to drop this link one more time here so you can all take a look at it as you leave this webinar. And if you're looking to email me, let's chat about this here. Um, and let's get this going. So I want to thank you all again for joining me this morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be dialing in from this world. We look forward to having many of you in our boot camp here in the next couple of days and weeks, and we'll be following up through the holiday season. And we also have many other webinars as well that you can join so you can get a feel about how Albert's List works. Um, and so we look forward to seeing you soon. One more question. Would this work for me if you had a career gap? Yeah, absolutely. We've had people who had multiple year career gaps join our boot camp before and find success and understanding in how this job market works. So yeah. We'll have the recording up soon, and we look forward to having you. And we wish you a very wonderful and wonderful weekend wherever you may be. And we will see you all soon. Thanks so much, and goodbye.